Congratulations to Tadej Pogacar, the champion of the Tour of the France 2021. Thank you so much, friends, for this wonderful tournament. For over 3 weeks, we were enjoying the report, the daily report, coming into our screens about this fabulous competition. My wife and I enjoyed every bit of it, but eventually needed to finish, and we are just nostalgic about it. I know it sounds silly, but the truth is, every day watching that 1 hour report, about 1 hour, enjoying the takes and observing how the athletes were competing, fighting, struggling, etc. It was just an amazing experience. But really, we all are amazed with Tadej Pogacar. What a wonderful 22-year-old young man. And, watching many of the moments, especially at the very end of the tournament, I noticed that many of them, they brought their own kids. Did you notice that? It was special, really. And I say this because for some reason, there is an idea somewhere that successful people, especially strong athletes in any area, they should be very macho. You know what I mean by that. It's like athletes are invincible, some kind of superheroes, and it takes just a few minutes to understand that those fabulous super individuals, because they are phenomenal, they say that this guy Tadej is that unique that it's hard to find in history somebody like him. And I heard some of the commentators saying that they doubt that somebody like him is going to come up soon. He's only 22, so I can imagine every year enjoying his competitions, and hopefully one of these years my wife and I will be there in France enjoying in person such an event. But again, when you are looking at the moments of when they are giving the rewards and all those flowers that are so beautiful, you see the athletes with their own kids. The ones, of course, that have kids. But even Tadej, without kids, every time he received the applause of the people and he was walking out of the stage, you know what? It was nice to see him going with the flowers for his mother and his girlfriend, because obviously even successful people have family. But why is it that sometimes you see among certain circles that everyone has to be like so independent? Like, I am so strong and so powerful, I really don't need to have a family. It is interesting. Sometimes people cannot have children for whatever reason, and that makes them just people without children. That doesn't make them less than the others, of course. We all are equal. So whether you have children or you don't, that doesn't make any difference in your life in terms of who you are as an individual. It's just a part of nature. It's like being tall or being short or any other characteristic of your body, of your own life. Everyone is different, right? We all are equal, but we are different. And for those who have the privilege of having children, like in my case, that I have children and now grandkids, there is something special about those feelings, for your kids. And raising my children for all over 20 years, before they went to college and all that, it was such a wonderful experience to me. My children were never a burden for me. They were a challenge. Challenge because I needed to make sure that they never get hurt, protecting them, providing for them, working hard, making money, everything that I needed in order to make sure that they will have a healthy atmosphere. Not perfect, because of course my home was not perfect. In fact, there are many mistakes that I made that affected in the wrong way my children. Like in my case as a child, I was privileged to be raised by my parents, but that doesn't make me better than anyone else that was raised by their grandparents, for example, or a single parent, because again, everyone's story is different, and some people have that story where they were raised by a grandma, for instance. There were no parents, or an uncle, or somebody, and so what? But there is something in that connection between kids and adults that we all experience in some point, because when we were little, being kids, we saw the adults, and we didn't understand what was to be an adult. We just saw them like giants. I remember that being in elementary school, looking at all the young people in the school, in my school, and outside, in my family. All of them, they were so tall. They were like giants to me. But I didn't understand much about what it was to be an adult. And eventually I grew up, and I never really thought much about the changes that were happening inside of me. I only noticed that I was tall like everybody else. And, well, the truth is, I have family around me. When you see of these athletes, and you see how strong they are, and you get to know their stories, not just athletes, but people in general, you will find that there are many individuals with not nice stories. In fact, I believe that everyone has, in some point of his life, a sad story, sometimes more than one sad story, or devastated stories in occasions. Sometimes you see people that are anti-family precisely for those experiences. Being betrayed by their parents or grandparents, being betrayed by the spouse, ex-spouse, anything. And then you have all these stereotypes about how a guy should be, how a girl should be, and all those things. And many people are very uncomfortable precisely for that reason about the concept of family. But we need to think about the future in all this, because as we know, as we are growing old, eventually we are going to die. Our bodies are going to cease to exist. And then what? Well, everyone has to go through his own experience, but what I'm asking is, then what in terms of the humanity? Well, we say, well, there are going to be more people. Yeah, but those people, as we know, are the result of the love between a man and a woman, and those children precisely are most of the time the result of families. So family actually it's necessary for the future of humankind. Family is the beginning of our own story, whether it's a broken family or not. And something happens in the family that a lot of people don't want to even talk about it, think about it, and it's all about trying to please and getting the approval of somebody. And you know what is interesting? We go through life, being kids to teenagers and young adults, and keep on going. Somehow we are still looking for someone that we can please, and also looking for the approval of somebody. Many of those individuals that are not into family, or they just think that they can just be among all those others that are super strong people, and they don't need families, or they don't need anyone, that they can be super independent. Well, I think it's just going to be a matter of time for everyone to realize we cannot really make it in life without the help of others. Even if someone makes tons of money and they think I will pay for this, I will pay for that, and etc., there is still the need for having somebody with us. And so imagine this. Imagine you are super strong, super independent, you make your money, and you have prepared your retirement and your last days on earth. You paid for all that, and you have services provided because you paid already for all that. And you want to be independent. You don't want to be a burden for anybody. You want to be very, very on your own without giving trouble to anybody. So you paid for all those things. But still, wherever you are going to be in need for somebody that will be kind enough to help you, especially when it's the last part of your life. You know, many people, when they are going through the last years of life, uh, some are totally unable to do many things. I personally have experiences with people uh, being hurt, being ill with terrible diseases like problems with their brains, their memories. And, you know, I don't want to mention names of illnesses, but you understand uh, the inadequacy, the lack of capability to even feed themselves, clean themselves, and all that, to speak. And so some of those are in beds for many weeks, some of them months, and others for years, not even able to communicate other than certain methods because they are not able even to speak. And so in each one of our stories, the bottom line is at the end we need to find somebody. We need to connect with other human beings. So here's the big question. Why we don't try to connect with others right now? Why we have to wait until the very end of our lives? Or here's my point to you. Why is it that so many people are so anti their parents or anti their children or anti their family? You see, I brought up to you the Tour de France because we saw those people with their kids and their parents. You go to any arena, whether it's arts or sports, as I mentioned, or politics, business. You know, whenever anyone is celebrating, the ones that they love, family, most of the time, are the ones there with them. Now, talking about all this, I found this particular portion coming from the writings of Solomon, the King Solomon. And this particular book is called the Proverbs, chapter 10. And the first part of that, chapter 10 of this book, Proverbs, he writes this: a wise child will make his father happy, but a foolish one makes his mother sad. And you know, this can go both ways. The wise child will make the mother happy and also will make the father sad. I heard a very nasty joke from a comedian the other day. He says, you know, children are like farts. You don't mind them if they are your own. And well, it's nasty, and forgive me for bringing it up, but he made me laugh. And of course, this comedian was talking about how disgusting it is for him to be around kids. That's why he said that. And but somehow it makes sense for one reason, and is that no matter how your children are, it doesn't matter if they look great or they don't, if they are smart or not. It doesn't matter if your children are healthy or they are ill with any kind of physical impediments or defects. You will love your kids regardless. You will love them. But certainly, any child has the ability to make his parents happy. Anyone. And that is what we treasure at the end of our lives. I will tell you something personal. My parents, they already passed. They they were wonderful parents with many mistakes like everybody else, but they have a lot of love for me, and that made me happy. I did the same for my children, and still today I keep loving them with all of my heart. And when you think about pictures that you have in your home, in your office, in your bedroom, uh, when you think about that, you know what is the interesting part about it? The interesting part about it is that you are thinking, I like to have the pictures of those that I care the most, the ones that I love the most. That is something so special about the pictures that you have. And probably if you look around your life, your home, your office, your vehicle, your phone, your computer, your devices, you will see that those that you love and you care the most are the ones that you want to have those pictures of. And, well, I wonder, and let me be very personal here with a personal question to you. Whether your parents are alive or not, whether you met them or not, whoever played that role of being a parent or a mentor, somebody that you loved very much or that person loved you very much, an old guy, an old lady, let me ask you this question. Would you say that this person is happy with you today? Well, let's suppose they already die, okay? Let's suppose that they died, whoever was this guy or this lady, or those the couple, the parents you had. Would you say that they will be happy with you today? In other words, would you say that you have their approval? Because Solomon said this for a reason. And the reason is he knew that when we have that approval from our parents, when we have the okay of those who are raising us, we are going to experience something special, is acceptance. Acceptance. And we all need to experience that. I want to encourage you today, my friend. Search within your own soul if you really are pleasing those who raised you, your parents, grandparents, or whoever. In that matter, it is necessary for you to forgive. You have to forgive those who betrayed you, abandoned you, or left you alone, or whatever. Anyone who did anything wrong to you, you have to forgive and move forward to a new level of life and try to see the good side, the goodness and the kindness on those who raised you and helped you somehow to become the person you are. And then find the things that those people told you that will make them happy if you would do what? Because deep in your heart, you know what is the right thing to do. Deep in your heart, you know that in order to receive their approval, you should do certain things. So I want to conclude today by telling you this, my friends. There is one creator of heaven and earth, the Lord God Almighty, who is our ultimate Father. He is our Heavenly Father. So, are you pleasing Him today? Think about it. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I wish you a wonderful day.